All right. Hello and welcome to Real Talk with Odun. Let's turn this here beats. Okay. Hi, hello, people. Welcome to Real Talk with Odun. Welcome. Hi, Miss Dura. Thank you for joining. Welcome. I came online briefly because I don't understand what's going on with them not seeing my video, so I had to switch devices, which I just did. Wura Ola Gold. I see you, Wura.
Okay, I can see you.
You can see me, but me, I cannot see you. It said you turned off video.
No, it's on. No, I didn't turn it on.
Ah, you just said Kemitajo turned off video.
Oh wow.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
But we can.
You can see me now, but me, I cannot see you.
Wow.
So
I don't.
it's okay. Hold
If you
on.
send a request, would that
Would it be better if I send user request to join?
Yeah, let's try it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do this. I've never done this
Yeah.
before.
Just go out and then
Okay.
send the request. You need to go out and then send the request. Network, please. Yeah, I don't think it's the network. I think it's the devices. So just send the request. Let's see. And I can't even join with this other phone. Okay. Good evening. Good evening, Trendy T. I see you. I see ya. Good evening.
How's it now?
Same no Neo. Same.
I don't know. And we can see you. We
No,
can
don't
hear.
worry. Yeah, don't worry. If you can see me, I just joined with the other device on your own site, so I'll use this one to be looking at you guys. I don't have time for this Instagram drama. I always do these things.
okay? But everyone can see both of us.
Can everyone see us?
And can you guys see everyone? Can you see me? Can you see them? Can you see us? Can you put it in the comment section? Let's see. Can you see us?
Yeah. Someone
Yes.
says see.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Esti Queen. Welcome to Real Talk with Urban Peeps. Welcome to another episode of, or should I say, another segment. We have a segment called Good Marriage, and we've been doing that. We did that the whole of last year, but then this year, let me start afresh. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining from. My name is Odun Akirile, and this is Real Talk with Odun. Real Talk with Odun is a show for women by women. All right, it's a platform where we usually come to. Thank you so much, Bura. Yes, thank you. We usually come to talk about issues that affect us as women. And last year we did a segment, the whole of last year, our main focus was showing good marriages. Why did we decide on good marriages? There is a lot of negativity about marriages. The stories we hear are the negative ones, they are the bad stories. You know, we don't get to hear. I don't know. I think somehow people just consciously shy away from showing that their marriage are, that they're in good marriages, or that their marriages are doing okay, you know, doing well. Now I always like putting out something. When we say good marriages, it doesn't mean they don't have their challenges. It doesn't mean they've not had their own issues. It just means they are both consciously working towards making it good and better for each other. All right, so that is what we will be doing today. And we have Kemi. Most of you are some of you are familiar with Kemi. Kemi is not a first timer, but this is the first time we are seeing Bola. Hmm? So let's give him a real talk kind of welcome. We are welcome. We are not welcoming Kemi. Kemi is listening.
Why now?
Welcome to Real Talk. We are doing Dikin K. I see
Thank you for
you.
having
I see you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. All right. So let's get into it, Kemi. Let's talk to Bola first. So
Yeah.
Bola, because like we come and know Kemi. So give us a bit of background about yourself.
Hi, well, my name is Adebola, and um, I'm a mathematician. I
Okay.
have been married. It's going to be 10 years
Oh, wow.
in August.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed with 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a simple thing about
Yeah.
me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is totally unrelated, right? How does it feel to be a girl's dad? Is unrelated to what it's just me being a people. How
I've,
does it
I've,
feel to be a girl's dad?
I've, I've always been surrounded with a lot of ladies in my life.
Okay.
Um, you know, married to a woman, have female siblings. I have female siblings.
You put that there.
I have female siblings. You know,
Oh, good.
pretty much in this house, I'm the only guy here. So,
So basically, you transitioned from one set group of women to another.
exactly. Now, I do have male elder brothers,
Okay.
uh, but all my younger siblings are ladies. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was just me, just to lighten up the mood. And I hope you can see the comment. They said you forget to mention Professor Adebola. And if you can just ask you a question. He said, do you feel overwhelmed being among women?
Amongst women.
there are days like that, but mostly it's also very advantageous too.
Hmm.
It has it.
Okay. Can you give us one advantage of being surrounded by women? We are putting you on the spot. Don't mind us.
You know,
Sorry.
women tend to be very caring, very patient. So I need that.
Mm,
I need a lot of patience when dealing with me and a lot of care. So I enjoy the care. I enjoy the patience.
mm,
You know, even with my little girls, like they
mm.
forgiving, like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, but you're making us blush. You see, I'm blushing on behalf of every woman. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about why we are here today. I'm going to come to you, Kemi. How did you guys meet?
Okay. Um, so the short story is we met in church. Basically through someone mutual, which was his sister. We were attending the same church at that time, and then when he came to the U.S., we kind of connected through her. So we basically met in church. I didn't really pay attention to him much because he was what we call a fresh off the boat. He just came from Nigeria, so I didn't really pay him any mind. I just knew that he was a friend of mine, sister, a sister in the church. That's our brother. That's all I knew. I didn't really pay attention to him, but I got to meet him through her. And then another interesting fact is that he came for schooling. So he was going to the school that I had already graduated from, which was Sam Houston State University. He was attending school there. So his sister was asking me about accommodation, what type of places around there can he get accommodation. So I was giving her some, because I literally just graduated from the school and he literally just entered, to start schooling there. And so I was giving her some places that he can stay and stuff like that. So that was pretty much the gist of how we met.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know I'm somehow I think I had the story. I had the story last week
Oh,
Friday on the red carpet. So
yes.
I somehow I know, but I always like telling people that when we talk about things like this, we are not just talking about it for the fun of it. We are talking about it so that people can pick one or two things from what we're saying. Thank you for joining. This is Aki. I see you. Thank you. Antibola, thank you for joining. So for the singles, they met in church. I know church is like a taboo to this generation. Like half of the generation don't want to go to church, which is understandable, But I'll just leave it like that. All right. So how long have you guys been married? How long have you guys been together?
We've been together total about almost
13.
13 years, but we've been
Hmm.
married. It's going to be 10 years this August, by God's grace.
Okay. So
We've
we
known,
have the
we've known
10 years
each other.
wedding anniversary this year, right? Are we partying?
Uh, if you want to follow us, you can come along with us.
My My mother is calling me.
Oh, I was like, I thought we lost you.
Okay. So let's ask, usually statistically, I know Professor Bola is big on statistics, all right? So statistically, it's been proven that the first 5 years of marriage is the most difficult, right? So let's talk about your early years of marriage. What was it like, the first 5 years of your marriage?
Okay. Well, I think that statistics is right even in our own case. The
Mm,
first 5 was probably the most difficult compared to the most recent 5 years.
mm,
It was difficult for I think for multiple reasons. One of which is, of course, we're just getting into this thing called marriage and
mm-hmm,
has experience about how it's supposed to go. We had counseling
mm-hmm,
before getting married, but even with the counseling, it's different from like the actual
mm-hmm,
practical.
mm-hmm,
Before getting married, we didn't live together. Some people
mm,
do this; they already cohabit before even they get
yeah.
married. We didn't cohabit, so there's that factor of now we're sharing the same space,
Mm,
and there's going to be all those compatibility issues coming up,
mm,
and also it was also difficult because she got pregnant ASAP.
mm,
As soon as- so our first girl came a year or some months, so not
Within the first year of
within the
marriage.
first year.
wow. Wow.
So we were dealing with pregnancy, learning this new thing called
Mm,
marriage, and
mm.
also
Yes, so sharpshooter. They say
I saw that.
also we were just starting our lives, like our career lives. She moved from Houston, I moved from Huntsville. We met somewhere in the middle,
mm,
and so she had to get a different job,
mm-hmm,
and it it took like some months
Yeah.
before
mm,
she got the job.
mm, mm, mm,
I was also just graduated from grad school, so the first teaching job I got, was part time, so it wasn't bringing a lot of money. There was financial pressure
mm,
in our first year. So and then she's pregnant, and there was just so much struggles. I'm not
mm,
going to lie, but there was just so much struggles, and then there's also the fact that we're we're how do I say this? We we when we were courting, we talked about everything,
mm.
but we didn't have sex or anything like that, right? So there's also the dynamic of the romantic side,
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
you
Uh,
know, and our story is very strange.
mm,
So it was a lot of we had a lot of adapting to do in our first 5 years,
mm,
and so that made it really tough. But eventually, with God's grace and just having faith, we pulled
mm,
through. So we put through those years. Again, after our first child, we had our second within the next 1 year again.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
We did not
Okay,
learn our
let
lesson.
me ask you a question real quick, because you just mentioned something about the romance, the sexual compatibility, which I think, I'm sorry, I need to deviate a bit. The church needs to talk more about when it comes to counseling. Because usually what they hammer on is the no sex, no sex, no sex. And they don't really pay any attention to the other parts of, okay, when they eventually come together, what and what do they need to talk about? What and what do they need to know ahead of time? Now, this is for the church. This is not for you. But then for you, I want to ask you, you said that within a year after you guys got married, she was pregnant. And in the same vein, you said the sexual compatibility was that the romance and everything was a little bit of a challenge. So can you bring both together?
The romance and the what?
And the
And the getting pregnant immediately.
got pregnant.
Or is it that you guys didn't do romance? You just pim pum pam?
I think I could probably jump in here. I think what he means is that because I was pregnant and dealing with I guess, the changes of pregnancy so early in the marriage, it
Mm.
affected our
The dynamic.
way.
Mm.
I wasn't as into it as he would have liked me to be.
Mm.
I was like dealing with, and I was dealing with all the changes in my body. I didn't know how to. I've never been pregnant before. I
Yeah.
don't know how this stuff works. And then I'm having sex for the first time as well
Mm.
because I was a virgin when we got married. So I was just like, I didn't know. I couldn't like figure out the balance, and
Mm.
it was
Mm.
that's what brought the struggle into our
Mm.
sexual life because it was like I'm pregnant and then we're doing all of this stuff for the first time. It was the first time for me. I mean, he was a little more experienced than me, but
Mm.
it was the first time for me, and so it's kind of putting the mental part of
Yeah.
it
I
was
get you. I get
so
you.
it was
I get you. The fact that you were pregnant and then
yeah,
you were trying to get used to being a
right,
wife, because yeah, it's a struggle, and this is not peculiar to you. This is one of the reasons why we do this, because we have couples that most likely will be going the same thing right now, trying to find a balance between being a first-time mom and a wife. And the whole dynamic just changed all of a sudden. You didn't even have time to get used to the idea of you being a wife
right.
before you just switch to you being a mother. So for anyone going through that right now, this is why one of the reasons why we do this. You see, they came out of it and they're still going. I needed to put that out there. So let's talk about, was that the most challenging that you guys have felt in this relationship, or was there any time you guys had a more severe challenge than this?
Um, we had a lot. I'm not going
Mm.
to lie. We had a lot as we're coming out from one challenge, we're getting into another one.
Oh wow.
But there was the part that also affected the romance part that she didn't get to mention is also the fact that we didn't have enough money because we were, she had not gotten her job yet or something like that, and my job is not strong enough to keep us together. By the time we finish paying all our bills, we have little or nothing left, and so for me, yes, she was dealing with her own anatomical, anatomy, whatever changes, body changes, and all that. I was maybe seeing it from another perspective of like, is it because I don't
I
really have
don't have
money?
money. Mm. Mm.
So I was also worried about the financial
Mm.
part. Like, I would
Mm.
love to, of course, make her more comfortable than she is, where she is,
Mm.
and so, and then, within the first 5 years, I think that's when I lost my mom as
Oh
well.
wow.
So, and even before I lost my mom, she had been sick for a long time. So we're
Mm.
dealing with
Mm.
that. And I
Mm.
remember when I was pregnant with our second daughter was when I lost my mom eventually.
Oh
And
wow.
like
A few days before we
about
had our second child.
4 days into when she delivered the second baby was when my mom passed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my mom
Wow.
stayed with us for I think about a month before she passed. So dealing with a sick mom, a pregnant wife,
Wow. With
money,
a little baby
And a
as
toddler.
well.
Yeah.
and a toddler,
Oh wow.
and it was a lot. But I think God just used all of that to
Wow.
strengthen us. Actually.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it was.
Wow. I'm humbled because let me just say you guys are inspiring me right now, because that's a lot for someone to go through in a space of 5 years. Like it's just from one to the other, from one to the other. And I see Kemi every day looking so good and dancing in church and doing all that, and nobody will know that you guys were going through that. I need to commend you guys for your tenacity.
Thank
All
you.
right. And yeah, on the other side now, I'm sure Kemi, are you billing him bigly now? He's a professor. I mean, come on.
Uh, I still gradually
He's
getting there.
a
Gotta
baller.
get
He's a
used.
baller now.
You gotta get used to the baller. You gotta be still be,
Okay.
budgeting.
All right. All right. Thank you. I was just joking. No, don't think I'm saying you to go and be billing. I was not a
Ah,
joke. Oh. Okay. So let's talk about, I know you said that you guys were able to, but with God you were able to overcome. I just want to ask, was there something you guys changed in particular? Okay, this question I'm asking is very particular to me, right? Because when I woke up this morning, when you're thinking in the morning and you're asking yourself, what do I need to do differently to get a different result? So I'm asking now, was there something you guys did in particular to help you overcome these challenges that you guys faced, or you guys just weathered the storm?
That's a good question.
Well, I think that we have to look at it from two perspectives, right? There are things that happens to us because we participate or we contributed to it happening. And there's also things that will happen to us that it was not of our own doing,
Mm,
like
mm,
so I think that when God brought us together, God knew why he brought us together. He knew
mm,
it was going to be someone that can weather the storm with me during
mm,
or in my situations. So I think that when I go back and reflect now in retrospect about the past, I couldn't have seen anyone else surviving this
mm,
with me.
mm,
It wasn't right.
mm,
So
mm,
of course there were things that we also contributed to that if we had known better we could have not suffered as much,
mm.
so to say. But in general, again, we did change a few things, I think.
Yeah, I would say mindset wise,
Yeah.
I changed a few things. Like going back to the sexual struggles, I had to change my
Mm,
mindset about it. I had to like literally tell myself like, you're married now. You have to, you know, get into this thing. Like put your
mm,
mind there.
mm.
So
Yeah.
and also kind of just kind of I would say I became a lot more patient, a lot
Mm,
more.
mm,
I had to give a lot of grace for a lot
mm,
of things. Just
mm,
the situations that were coming through. Like I don't think I ever even made him feel bad about the whole financial thing.
mhm,
All
mhm,
in it a topic of discussion all the time. I gave a lot of grace knowing the situation, and I actually feel like during those times we had more of a when we went through those struggles, I feel like there was like just more. I didn't complain about a lot of things just because I knew that okay, we'll get past this. Like this
mm,
is not forever. This is just a phase in
mhm,
a bigger, in the big picture of our life.
mhm,
But
mhm,
so that I just extended a lot of grace, and I didn't like complain about things as much. I try to manage whatever I did, what we did have, what we had,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I saw the way he would like really work hard to make sure we were taken care of.
mm,
It wasn't like, he would just find ways to make it work.
mm,
And I would like also support whatever, try to support in whatever way I can until I got a job and things like that.
yeah,
So, because I do hair, so that was also something I used
mhm.
to actually
To help,
influence
yeah,
that time
yeah,
as
yeah,
well. So it was a lot. It was a mindset shift for me. I would
yeah,
say that I really had to change my mindset about a lot of
yeah,
things. Like it's like switch from you're no longer single. Now you're married. You
mhm,
can't rely on your family. You can't rely on anyone. You have to make it work here. You can't look
mm,
outside and ask people for, oh, please. I mean, yes, you can ask help for help when, if you get to that point, but I never really felt like I had to run back to my parents and ask for
mm,
assistance.
mm,
I
mm,
had to just make it work and,
mm,
get through it. And another thing is, because of the transition of the move, I used to want to always go home. Go home, like, when you go to college and you say, oh,
yeah,
now I'm going
yeah,
home for the
yeah,
weekend. I would want to go home every weekend to my parents' house. And one day my husband had to have a conversation with me like, this is your home now. You can't go home. There's no going home. Like, this is the home that you have to make. That was also part of the conversations that shifted my mind. That was like,
mm,
this is my home.
mm,
I have to make home here.
mm,
Can't be running back to my parents' house like that's my home. Or I'm going to my parents'
mm.
house. Like, so those are the part of the things that kind of helped me change my mindset and shift my thinking to saying, okay, this is where I have to make
All
home.
right. Thank you so much for that. I really I love the mindset thing, the shift in the mind, because at times, even if you have practical solutions, if your mind is not agreeing with the practical solutions, then you most likely will not be able to do it. And I thank you for that. I really love what the Kincaid said here. He said, I believe in the process of time, you guys have grown organically together, and that's the essence of marriage. You know, he made a statement and said he believed that no one else would have gone through that season with him if not you. So that is a huge statement to make. That speaks to the character of the both of you. And I think that's what the growing together organically is all about,
Yeah.
sinking each other's character into it. And I hope for the married people that are watching, you know, when you were talking about you wanting to go back home, I remember a video of Apostle Femi Lazarus that was watching, and he said when he just got married, that he will come back from work and he will be looking around for his wife. His wife will be hiding behind the curtains crying. That she would just be crying. And what is she crying about? The husband is not eating her food. And that she comes from this family that there is a spread. There are tables when they're having dinner, it's a spread. There is rice, there is salad, there is more, there is fish, there is meat. And then she will prepare the same thing on the table. And then if we come back that he is just rice, put stew, take one meat, it's done. So he was getting to her,
Yeah.
and she would just run behind the curtain, and he will look. He said he will look everywhere, look under the bed, look, and then finally will now see her hiding behind the curtain. So these are for newly married couples. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
You know, the struggle is real. We don't want to just sweep everything and just say, get used to it. You are grown. You are old enough to get married. You can know. It's a totally different ball game if you're moving your whole life from one end to another. I said from one extreme to another extreme, basically. So if you're struggling right now, you're a newly married person, you're struggling, you don't know how to basically be a married woman, then please just know that it's a phase, and then you need to shift your mindset, just like the way that Kemi said. Okay, so let's talk about external influence. You said, Bala, you said your mom lived with you guys briefly before she passed. So was there any influence coming from her own end while she was living with you guys?
Well, I think maybe the question should be
Directed to
because you
Kemi.
know,
Yes.
for me, my mindset, right, was so we had an extra room where we lived where she was in, and she was very very sick, so she was not leaving the room except going to the bathroom. She didn't,
Okay.
um, so she wasn't active.
Mm,
But of course, it took a lot of my time, my energy, my emotions during that period.
mm, mm.
And
Of
that could
course.
have affected our relationship or strained our relationship, because she was also pregnant during that period too. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's expectations from my end,
Mm.
towards
Yeah.
her that I may not have been maybe fully present.
Mm.
Um, so she probably would be the best person to know how all of that affected her. But I
Yeah.
tried to the best of, I guess, my ability during that period to just deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay. So, Kemi, do you want to speak from your own perspective?
Sure. During that time when that brief time that my mother-in-law did live with us, I wouldn't say there was any external influence because she really, like you said, she wasn't really that active. You know, there was more of us taking care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So she really, it's not like we got to sit and have a lot of conversations with her or her tell us anything about, you know, a lot of the times, a lot of the conversation I did have with her was before that time. She would text me, just check on me and check on us, and or send me pictures of when he was from when he was younger. So during that time that she stayed with us, we didn't get I would say I didn't get the privilege of having those conversations with her to
Mm-hmm.
learn a little bit more about Bola, about marriage, about how to navigate
Mm-hmm.
the season. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I missed out on that. I would have loved to learn more from her. But the little that I did get from her, I will forever
Very.
cherish. She
Uh,
used to encourage me to read the word. You know, she always used to tell me that the word is what is going to get you through, you know, whatever you're going.
mhm,
And she
mhm,
would tell me that she loved me. And so I always cherish those little things that she did give to me while she was there. So I would say she gave that kind of influence.
mm,
Just hammering that the word of
mm,
God is
mm,
vital in your marriage and
mm,
vital for, and, you know, just reassuring me that she loved
mm,
me and that I was
mm.
loved by her. So,
All right.
Can I
All
add
right.
something?
Yes,
Can I
please.
add? So, so whilst we was talking, I suddenly remembered something that I think strained a little bit our relationship because she was here with us. Was
Mm,
that so? My mom, of course, everybody have their personality, but my mom is this type of a person who she's very private, right?
mm,
She's just like the example you said about the couple who came from different families where they eat
mm,
together, and but the other person they don't care, right? So from my mom and she's a very private person. So especially when it's really now, if it's something that needs to be private, my mom is over private with it. But even things that
mm,
are not supposed to be private, she's still private with it anyways.
mm,
When she came to the
mm.
US and she was sick, she was private about her health. In fact, I didn't know she had cancer for like a year before
Oh,
I got to.
wow.
That's how private it was. And when even before I knew, like we were five in my family, like the siblings, and we knew one person at a time. One person would know, and then maybe 3 months later, another person
Wow.
would know, and until it got to my own turn when I got to know, which was like over a year, and she was already very sick. She was already like
Mm,
very. There was nothing we could do at that time. Um,
mm.
but when she was living with us, she didn't want me to tell anybody
Oh, wow.
about her health. She wanted it to still be private, and so I didn't get to tell. I told her not to tell her mom, which I was telling her. And by the way, her mom and my mom are close before these health
Mm,
issues. So, but out of respect for her privacy, I had to tell her not to tell her mom, and so eventually, I think her mom was not that happy about the fact that we
mm.
didn't tell her
Tell 'em, yeah.
that, and that just became some kind of little conflict here and there. But we were able to go past
Mm,
that eventually. But that did pull a little bit of strain on us during that time.
mm,
I was trying to keep it
mm.
private, and she didn't see. It's like,
Any
oh,
reason why it needs to be
let's
private?
let's you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being that vulnerable for to talk about something that's why I'm a bit mellowed myself because it's not something that you just go off about, and I'm grateful that you're being vulnerable with us. So now let's go to your own end, Kemi. Was there any influence from your own part of the family? You just mentioned something about your mom feeling somehow for not finding out early. So was there any influence from your own part of the family that affected you guys in any way?
um, yes, and in a way there was influence from my side as well. Like you said, my family is very like we're kind of a hands-on family. We're kind of a family that we don't really keep things to ourselves. We kind of
Mm,
speak out when things are not going well, or things are, we want. And when I say speak out, I don't mean like we go outside and tell people. It's like we openly talk about issues. We don't
okay.
hide things. So in that dynamic, I felt I was like at a I was in the middle somehow, especially with the situation of not being able to tell my parents what was going
What
on
was
with
going on?
my mother-in-law. And they weren't far away. It's not like they were in a different country or in a different state. They were literally an hour away, like,
Mm,
so having to hold that information back from them, and then they'll call and check on you and say how's everything, and you can't tell them what's
mm,
going on.
mm,
When I did eventually, when I was okay to tell my mom what was going on, she wasn't happy. But I was trying to explain to her that it's not that we didn't want to tell you. It's not
like
about
you
you.
were just trying to
It was,
respect her
yeah,
privacy.
like this is how things are. Like, it wasn't because of you. It's not because my mom can take things personally. That's another thing about her. Like, if you don't tell her something, she's already like, oh, is it because of me? And like, she'll take it personally. And I'm like, no, see it like that. Like, they were not trying to leave you out per se, but this is just the dynamic of things. So I try not to really share a lot of things with my parents and my family. I really kind of, and they know me. That's how I am. I really keep to myself when things are going when things are going. Something will be going wrong. You won't tell us. You won't tell us. Are you sure everything's okay? But she can still tell that okay, everything's not perfect, but she will. And I would try not to be like that person that just spilling out everything and just telling her because what I learned prior to marriage is that you can't, when you have issues with your spouse, you can't tell your family, because once you people resolve your issue, your family is still looking at your spouse
Yep.
with the same
Yep.
issue that you go and share.
Yep.
So I was always careful about sharing what's going on, or saying too much.
Yeah.
For a lot of things I really kept to myself. So I feel like my parents and my siblings kind of like stayed in their place, but they will always try to make sure we were okay, or at least that I was okay, like checking in on us. They would visit every now and then. But they always felt like they were kind of like on the outs. And
Yeah, I get you. I
yeah,
understand what you're saying.
so they
Yeah.
kind of felt
If
like
you come from
they
a
were on.
family that you always share everything together, and then all of a sudden they now find that you kept something that important, they'll be in their feelings for a while.
Yeah, so
For a while,
that's
yeah. Yeah,
really
I understand. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you both so much. So I'm trying to skip because we have, I think, like less than 10 minutes left. So we've been talking about the not so good parts. So let's talk about the good parts.
yeah.
Now, I like when I bring couples, I like when they, when they psych each other up. And which is why I always ask about their eyes in marriage. When I said eyes, what the time you enjoy Bola the most, the fun things that Bola does for you. Can you tell us?
Um, he's very spontaneous sometimes. So like he'll just say like let's go do this, and then and then sometimes I can go along with it, and then sometimes I'm like, is that a good idea? Like look at the time, like he'll just pick any time. It could be like in the middle of the night, like, let's go do this. And I'm like, guy, like it's late, but sometimes I go along with it, and the spontaneity, if that's the word, is what he brings into the marriage. That's kind of fun. Like some days, most of the time he's mellow, but some days he likes to just do the most random
Okay,
things.
let's have a bit of fun. Is he a bookworm? Is he a duck?
No,
Because everybody says Professor Bala, and the idea is that professors are always bookworms, always with his book. He's like a nerd. He's nerdy.
no, not
Honestly,
this
between you and me,
one.
I used to think he was a
Not this
nerd. Did
one.
you tell me when I met him? I didn't think he was a nerd. He was too serious. So,
No,
oh
not
my,
always. He doesn't, unless he's trying to solve a math problem, like for real. Like he hardly is looking at his book. Like hardly does he look at books.
okay. All right. Sorry. So we are coming to your own side too. Professor Bala, to tell us the fun thing that Kemi does for you.
You know, when you say fun, like, do you mean like just the fun or the good, the things?
Your eyes in marriage, like the things you enjoyed about being married to her, the sweet things she does.
All right, so okay, for me, I'm again maybe based on my personality, I'm always mellow. I don't really have fun. I'm not like against fun.
Don't make her a liar because she just said you are not that often.
No. So I'm neither a bookworm, like just
Extreme.
extremely like book. Neither am I like someone that you always find in parties and always going out like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm more
Making
I'm
said
more
all lies on you.
I spend more time in my head, if
Mm.
you understand.
Mm.
Like, I can stay all night and she just wake up in the middle of the night and see me standing up. And she was like, "What are
Wow.
you doing?" And I'll be
Pacing
pacing
back
around.
and forth.
I can be meditating for like 5 hours straight. So I spend
Wow.
more time in my head than anywhere else like that. So what I do appreciate about her, what makes me really excited about her in my marriage is just being able to do the things that I forget to do, because I can
Wow.
easily forget to do. I'm always like
Wow.
locked into, like, maybe in my
A,
head,
a moment.
yeah,
Mm.
that, oh, I didn't think about, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that,
Mm.
and she just
Mm.
steps up and just do it. So those are the things that for me are exciting to me. Now, if you want to talk about real fun, like, you know, she she cooks great food. Um, and this is something that I didn't expect getting married to her.
Whoa, wow.
because,
Really?
because she literally told me before we got married that, can I give her one, there's one thing that she may not be able to do for me in our marriage, but she can do anything else that I want. But I should just let her not be able to do that one thing. I said, what is that one thing that you cannot do? She said, cook. I said, try. Try. So now become. So, and I'm comfortable cooking. You know, I used to cook a lot before I got
Mm.
married. And when we got married, I still do a lot of cooking. Right? I was doing more of the cooking when we got married, but now I
Mm.
barely cook. She does most of the cooking. So,
Mm.
and so she cooks very delicious delicacies and all of that. So that for me, food is not, food is fun for me.
Food is life.
Mm.
So
She cooks great. I'll be visiting you after fasting is over. Okay, the
Oh,
kitchen is coming to eat.
yeah, and I think that kind of shows to like a mindset shift that she talked about earlier on
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah,
just I told
yeah.
her when she told me that she was not going to, I said that it can't work. It cannot work. This cooking thing, you will cook it by force, but there's time, there's grace, but eventually we cannot survive without you trying not to cook.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
eventually she shifted her mind and she became very comfortable, extremely comfortable self.
But
So
even more than you, Gonse Fabi. Anyway,
exactly.
thank you both so much. So we are going to round up, but before we round up, right, Kemi, you are going to look at him and you are going to psych him,
okay.
and he's going
Psyche.
to do the same. So you are going to look at him and psych him. Okay, go.
Like, what
She
did you?
doesn't know psych. What
I
psych
was like,
is
I
that?
don't know.
She's still
You are going to
Americanized.
tell me you
What
are the
does
sugar in
psyche
my
mean? Like
tea, you
typing.
are the bread that I wake up to every morning, you are the
Okay,
Maggi
okay.
that I use in putting in the soup when I cook, you know.
Wahala.
Wahala,
Okay.
yes. Wahala.
All right. Babe, you are the you're the best mathematician in the world. No. Let me not. Let me not. You're so handsome. You're brave. You're courageous. You're gifted.
Oh,
You're loving. You're caring. You're a peaceful person most of the time. You're a peaceful person. You're amazing as amazing father, an amazing brother. Um, you're Oloworini.
mm-hmm. Oh,
You're my best in best in making like funny random jokes. The best in keeping keeping things going even when like it's rough. Thank thank you for keeping the faith. Thank you for being consistent. Thank you for always having us in mind
mm,
and always just being present and
mm.
not like not not just you know letting things just pass, but just being present and doing your best. Thanks for putting in your best.
Wow. Thank you so much. They said now she's getting, I hope you are seeing all the comments, right?
I can't even see.
The
Yeah, the next time
first Yoruba we hear Sister Kemi say in a long time. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, yeah. Ojibwe. Good, good job. So
Oh, the
now,
other ones. That's the only one I can remember. Because if I say the other ones, I say them wrong. So
okay.
that's the one I
Thank you.
remember.
My dot was about to go. He was like, "Girl, you better start talking now before I." All right. So now he's going to do the same thing.
well, I wish I went first,
Ah,
but
good.
well, anyways, where do I start from? So you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're kind, you're you're the best thing that's happened to me.
Oh.
I'm a mess without you, and I know that sometimes I can be a lot to handle, but you extend grace, patience, so I can't be the best person I am without you.
Oh.
Thank you for staying with
Oh.
me through it all. I've gone through a rough patch, and some of which is my own doing, and some I'm still on it right now, still on the rough patch. But you always extend grace and love and patience, and that speaks to the quality of your character, and I appreciate you.
Oh. Oh. Who's cutting me on? Don't want to give me. Don't want to give me tissue paper. We are blushing on that behalf. I know. I know. Anyway, thank you both so much, and I bless God for you guys. And like someone rightly said earlier, may your honey never run dry. May
Amen.
your home keep being solid, and may the love that bind you all together keep getting stronger and stronger in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for coming. Your head is bugging, and I know. I know you're asking if you wristwatch. Now you know what that one mean. So anyway. Yes, so we love you guys. Thank
Thank
you
Thank
you.
so much.
you.
Thank you for spending your time with us. To get the prof to come on. I mean, come on. That's big news.
Big
Eh?
shout out
But thank
to
you.
Sister Odun because it's her doing, because it is me. They don't
Now,
ask
I said I will ask him.
me.
Is
They
it
don't
that yes or no?
ask
If
me.
he said no, I will carry my things and go, Jeje. But funny enough, he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm like, let's lock it down. Let's lock
Easy.
it down straight. All right. Thank you guys so much. And for everyone that tuned in, that joined in, thank you guys so much. God bless you. And I appreciate the time. And Bola, I see when you came on, I saw Demonstrate with Adeshola. I saw everyone, Esther Queen, Ahmed, Trendy, Adeshola. If I do not mention your name, please don't be angry. Love events, so amen. Thank you for sharing your story. God bless you and your beautiful family. Amen and amen and amen. For everyone that joined, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your comments, the feedback, and all that. God bless you all. And until next week, when I come your way with no, not next week. Sorry, we are done. We are done. I think it's the second week of March. Yes, but whenever you see me, you see me. All right. Thank you all so much. AY Dot, I appreciate your time. Trendy T, thank you. Thank you all. Again, if I skip your name, please, it's not intentional. I can't mention all the names. Thank you, Dickin K. Thank you, Aces Reflection. Every one of you. Let me see. I don't want to feel bad for skipping names. Antibola, thank you. Bouncy B, my darling Aburo, thank you. I see you. Anikon, thank you. Thank you. Thank God I even went back to check and see you. I've already mentioned your name, Bolanle. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I'll see you again, I think in 2 weeks' time, by the special grace of God. My name is still Odun Akerede, and I love and cherish each and every one of you. See you another time. Bye.
Bye.